Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you can stay tuned for all the upcoming content, little tidbits of knowledge, and just things that I've decided to make videos on. Today's video is going to be me eating popcorn. Just kidding. It's going to be on my first AAB experience. My first AAB experience was on this ship again, and for two reasons. One, because the timing of it, the timing of the rotation when they needed an AB was perfectly lined up with my schedule and what I had going on at home. And then for reason number two, I knew exactly what I was going to get paid. I knew how much I was going to get paid with my regular and my 4 hours of overtime every day. And I was very happy with that number. Basically from an OS to an AB, it's like $1,000 difference a month. Pretty sweet. But yeah, so I came back and I really only learned an extra 2 things coming back as an AB, and that is being a helmsman or steering the ship is even more boring than being a lookout. And number 2, I got more mooring experience, tying the ship up, untying the ship. So when I was here as an OS in phase 4, I think I only tied up like twice or something, and I was up on the bow. It was me, the other OS, and the bosun with the chief mate on the controls for the winches. Now the bosun pretty much just did everything. He's the type of guy that he thinks because we were OSs that we didn't know how to do anything, which I mean he really was right, because it was my first time mooring a ship. On my phase 2 with the cruise ship, they actually had me on the gangway, so every time we moored up to the dock, my job was to roll out and set up the gangway. So I never got mooring experience until I got here. But the bosun pretty much just did everything, and we'd be behind him, just helping him with the lines. Now when I came back as an AB, we had a few tie-ups, a few mooring operations, and I learned it pretty quickly. It's not too hard. It's more about safety than anything. And when I came here as an AB, the ABs, there's 3 of us. And for the mooring operation, it's all 3 ABs on the stern of the ship with the 3rd mate. 3rd mate runs the controls and the 3 ABs run the lines. Well, 1 AB had already 20-something years of experience, but he was a little crazy. I'm just saying. And that's not just my opinion, that's what a lot of people thought. You're gonna meet some weird guys out here. But that guy, I ended up having to tell him to back off, because I understand he was trying to help me, but when you're mooring, you really should be an arm's length away from anybody, because this guy was up on my butt, basically pushing me into the winch, which is horribly, completely dangerous. I mean, if you get pulled into that, you're getting crushed. And I ended up yelling at him, telling him to back off, and he left me alone. And then the other AB, he actually was in the same situation as me. I had more experience mooring a ship than he did, because he came from the Gulf working on oil rigs and tugs, where he never had to moor. He'd been sailing like 12-something years, and he never moored a ship up. So, and he learned quick, I learned quick. The other guy stayed an arm's length away from me. And but I learned real quick. And like I said, it's more about safety than anything. You just want to know which side of the line to be on, or I should say hawser, which side of the hawser to be on, so you don't get any kind of snapback and get hurt. So if you're new to it, I mean, it's simple. Just know your snapback directions or your bites. Know your bites, and don't be too close to anybody, and don't be too close to the winch. But other than those two things, I really didn't learn anything new, because when I came back here, they all know me already. They knew how I worked as an OS. They liked how I worked as an OS. So when I came back, they put me on the day watch. So being that this ship is a pre-positioned ship the majority of the time, the day watch actually just does 12 hours of deck maintenance. No watch whatsoever. Except on my first AB trip, at least once a month, 1 week out of each month, the ship does exercise just to run around, test everything. So that was when I got time on the helm and figured out that steering the ship for 2.5 hours is more boring than just being a lookout. Because being a lookout, you can walk around, stare at the water, report contacts. When you're on the helm, keeping a course, you're looking at a number that's like the size of your fingernail almost, and you're just staring at that number, looking at the rudder angle and staring at that number. That's all you're gonna stare at. You take your eyes off of it for too long, you'll start to sway back and forth, so you just gotta stare at the number. For 2.5 hours? No, man, it's horribly boring, but it's an easy job. You get paid decent. So yeah, my experience here, really, I knew that with the luck of the draw, they would probably just put me back as the day watch as an AB because they like my work, apparently, and I just did deck maintenance 12 hours a day for 120 days. But I came back knowing that it was a good possibility that was what was going to happen, and I was perfectly fine with it because I knew what I was going to get paid, and the work really isn't all that hard. What else can I say? I enjoyed it, because of those week-long exercises each month. It really broke up the 120 days, whereas an OS, it's 120 days of 12 hours a day, deck maintenance all day, every single day. Coming as an AB, I at least got 5 to 7 days out of the week where I was a lookout, so it was kind of like a little break, a little relaxation, a little break, you know what I mean, where I could just be a lookout, steer the helm a little bit, and just hang out up on the bridge. So the schedule worked out really good, because I'm not too fond of being a lookout, of being an AB lookout helmsman, because it is horribly boring, but that's what I signed up for, again. So that's all I got for you guys. My first AB experience, I knew what I was getting into, so I enjoyed it regardless. It's reality over expectations, and the reality was I knew what was going to happen anyways, so how could I be depressed about it, but you guys will see coming up here real soon in the next few videos that I do get a little whiny because of some certain circumstances, but it's the name of the game. Name of the game? It's the play of the game? It's just how things work out here sometimes. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please like. Comment down below or whatever, and I'm out.